future in control. My lovers, my team, and dreaming in between. I hear the future is calling me. Yeah, you know my love goes on forever and ever and ever. You know my love goes on forever and ever and ever. You know my love goes on forever and ever and ever. I said no. I said no. Stop worrying about things I can't control. Stop worrying about dollars I don't know. I gotta stop worrying about the things I cannot know. But sometimes it feels so good. Money don't matter if it feels for you. Money don't matter if you're home. Money don't matter if it feels for you. I used to worry every day. Now I got better things. Niggas, stop hurrying, slow down and take control. Gotta stop worrying about your problems, you should know. Niggas, stop feeling like my life is such a mess. Because the world has got me in it. It's my time and I should live it. Money don't matter if it feels for you. Money don't matter if you're home. Money don't matter if it feels for you. I used to worry every day. Now I got better things. Cause I said, baby, you gotta stop worrying. Money don't matter if it feels for you. Money don't matter if you're home. Money don't matter if it feels for you. I used to worry every day. Now I got better things.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. I hope everyone's having a lovely, lovely day. I know I am. So, yeah, today begins the quote unquote season 2 of my little show here called Comic Club, where I read just any comic that I happen to have, get a guest. Sometimes they do art, sometimes they don't. Today, it's going to be a very special kind of comic club, because not only do we have a guest, we have the artist and creator, Ryan Light, aka Starspeed, who created this wonderful comic that I read a while back before I started actually recording stuff. And we're going to be doing a sort of creator's commentary every so often when I feel like a good question comes up, or if Starspeed, Ryan, ends up having something they'd like to interject into the stream, just to talk about certain scenes or certain art pieces, certain like processes, stuff like that. It promises to be a very fun time. Starspeed.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can everybody? Can you hear me? Okay. Can everybody in stream hear me? Okay.
They should be able to. But yes, if there is anything going on with the stream that is scuffed, please, by all means, let me know in chat. That way I can correct it. A little quieter / far away. Okay, so that might be on my end.
Yeah. So right now I'm kind of looking at I'm seeing all this on Twitch, so I'm try to make sure that it's just like, yep, everything's working okay, and there's my little icon. Hello.
Yes. All right, I've increased the volume in Discord. Give us a mic check for everyone in chat. Starspeed.
Oh yes. Hi. Hello.
There we go. Does that sound better? If not, I'll just adjust it on the fly as needed.
Yeah. Let's see. Be good. I do have Twitch muted, so it's like I've still got your. I'm hearing the Discord audio, but I have Twitch muted just so that it's like I'm not getting like a reverb or like echo or anything. Also, chat. I'm very new to this whole like commentary sharing like voice chat over Twitch thing. So if I seem new at this, that's because I am very much new at this. So if you'll just bear with me, I'm learning this as much as you guys are experiencing this.
Yeah. Violet says it might just be you needing to be a bit closer to the mic.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we get to be Starspeed's first stream. Yay!
Yay! First stream. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. All right.
All right.
God, that just made me think of the old like 360 no scope.
Oh, dude, like freaking breaking out all the 10-year-old achievement hunter memes. Hey.
Yeah. That's better. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna swap on over to the comic.
All right.
Boop.
Yes.
All right, and then I'm going to move myself right here and move you just a tad more here and shrink you down just a little bit. There you go. Maybe I'll shrink myself a little bit too.
Yeah.
There we go. Now I don't look like I loom over you. Even though I totally could.
Yeah, hey, it's your stream. You can do whatever you want.
That is true. I am also a lich, so.
There you go.
So, before we even start reading, I knew the very first thing I wanted to ask you, because clearly this has inspiration in so many different sci-fi stories, like Holy hell! I just
Oh my
love the
gosh.
cover art.
Can you tell? Can you tell
Yeah.
that I've got my influences on my sleeve?
I probably
For
can't
the
say
world
anything.
to it's like my tattoo set. I'm just like, here you go. Here's all my feelings.
Yeah, I totally get that. But like, what was your main like the main bits and pieces of the puzzle here for this cover?
So I think kind of the biggest obvious like boneheaded no duh of course kind of influence was watching the original Star Wars movies when I was
Mm-hmm.
growing up. And so there's a lot of just kind of like the compositions that you'd see on like the old school like posters with like Darth Vader kind of looming over our heroes as like, you know,
Yeah.
like you've got like Luke at the forefront, or in this case you've got Amanda in the forefront, and then
Mm-hmm.
like you got the little ships going in kind of in order of importance. So I was very much trying to go for that kind of old school, kind of like retro sort of like sci-fi adventure kind of look for not just the characters, but for just the style of like that world, kind of familiar influences, but kind of
Mm-hmm.
using them to tell this new story
Yeah.
that I more.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. It's like as soon as I saw this when I first started reading it way back when, where we actually started talking because you joined the chat.
Yes.
Like I just immediately like had the like Star Wars vibes, the two like the faded figures in the background, heroes. Like the only thing missing is the like the scene of like Luke holding up the lightsaber. That's it.
Well, yeah, which is just like, yeah, without getting to spoilers, which, I mean, I don't know. If you haven't read the comic,
Mhm.
like, please do so. But it's just like, yeah, there is a bit of, like, some of that, but, yeah, trying not to, like, having a cool cover like this where it's like, uh, there are going to be elements like that that come into play, but just like for any newcomers here, it's just like, oh, cool sci-fi poses and like posters and whatever. And then like as you read the story, you start to see like more things develop and like cool space artifacts eventually found at some point. Well, it's, no spoilers.
Yeah, no worries. And I probably can't stay the entire time because I got a game at 8. Yeah, no worries, no worries. Like if you've got a game, if you've got stuff planned, by all means, like go take care of that.
Yeah.
All right. So now let us begin the story proper.
All right. Go.
In the far reaches of space, the Galactic Kingdom is under attack. The evil General Zarek has unleashed his legion of demonic cultists upon the innocent. As things were in the days of old, King Thaddeus rallies together his royal fleet of captains against the ruthless tyrant. But as one captain would be quick to put it, these are not the days of old. And this is not their story. This captain is named Amanda Williams. She travels with her lieutenant, Jet Flynn, and a rogue band of pirates is giving them quite a chase outside the Aeon Belt. Chapter 1: Flight of the Lonely Captain. I probably said it way back when, but I just love the like the very on paper watercolor, almost like colored pencil and crayon vibe this has.
Well, and it's funny for me looking at some of these pages because like I did these in like November of 2020, like 4 years ago. So like looking at these is always just so trippy. Like, oh my gosh, like these are so like I was just learning so much like as I was doing these that I'm like I promise that like to anybody watching this, it's like this will get more refined. Like I was still very much finding my feet in these first couple chapters here. So.
No, it's totally understandable, and it's honestly I've said this like many times over the course of my like I guess you could call it just the course of my career in the webcomics community. I love seeing art evolution in a webcomic. Like there's a spot in my heart for comics that just keep the same style from start to finish. But comics that
Yeah.
you clearly see it starts one way, and then you see the evolution of their craft becoming more rounded. They find what works. They don't discard, but they find a different purpose for what doesn't work. And it's just like it's like a visual ASMR for me. It's just like, oh yes, that is the good shit.
Yes, and yeah, that's not me knocking myself at all. This is more just me like looking back on this, going like, oh my gosh, this is crazy to look at now. So I'm very excited to get into some of this.
Ah, taking heavy damage, Captain. Our armor can't take another hit. Man the guns and fire back, Jet. You kidding? I can't lock to a thing out. Click. Okay. Captain's orders. You said captain and my brain went to epic. Captain, why would you let the Cyclops live when ruthlessness is mercy? God, if y'all
if Thunderstar was musical, then we would absolutely do that.
Yeah. Like, if y'all haven't listened to Epic yet, I highly recommend it. If you like the tale of Odysseus, but a retelling of the tale of Odysseus. So, could you clarify for me, who is this, Amanda speaking or Jet here?
This is Jet.
Okay. All right, so yes. Did you see that? Did you see that? This here's a fine ship you've cooked up, Jet. You ought to be bong 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 bong. 5 on our tail. I can take them one at a time, but the mega cannon's still charging. You're doing great, kid. Just do what you can. I'll take care of the rest. Classic space fights. Dog fights in space.
Yep, we love them. Love to see them.
Yeah, it's like, I always love when people point out like, yeah, dogfights in space don't make sense, and then I always have to retort, but they look cool as fuck.
They look so cool, and like, especially when you're seeing them in motion and you got like the music going, and like, I mean, obviously there's no music here, but like when you see it all put together, it's just like, oh man, you do it right. It's so satisfying to watch.
Yeah, totally agreed. Captain, I see it. I'm gonna try something. What something? You remember that braking trick we did back on Dalton 3? You want us to brake in the middle of an asteroid belt? I'm the one on the brakes, kid. Just hang tight and see what happens. If we get out of this alive, and I'll kill you. Oh, don't be so cynical.
Yeah, the eternal optimist.
Yep. Yoop. Deft flying maneuvers. Maneuvers that probably only work when you have no atmosphere to contend with. And explosions. Deft dodging. God, this is so good. Yeah! How's that for a getaway? Jet, you okay? Eye roll. Such a drama queen. And off they go. You always gotta love vistas like this.
Oh yeah, this actually, so I actually retouched this vista. This was not the first iteration of this page, but it was one where it was like, I was just like This comic was such a crash course in learning backgrounds, and so like I had a whole Pinterest board full of just like references and just kind of like fantasy settings with like castles and waterfalls and stuff. And this was one where I really liked the original iteration of like what I came up with here, but like it was one of those cases where I was a little too reliant on the reference, and unfortunately felt like it was getting a little too close to copyright. So I'm like, I just wanted to. Well, and by the time that I felt more confident in my abilities, I was like, I feel like I could do another go at this. So what you're seeing is kind of the result of that, where it's just like clear composition. It's more just kind of like I was more confident in my abilities, and I try not to do that for a lot of these early pages because again, it's like the charm of like a lot of kind of like early artists like starting out the webcomic is kind of like you want to see their progression, and so I tried not to change too much, but stuff like this where it's like, well, you're not seeing the characters and it's really more just like one little page. That I wanted to like this, especially because it's like you're seeing this for the first time. You want to take in like here's Eon Prime, here's the big like capital city here.
Yeah,
because it's pretty important to the story.
Yeah, no, that's totally understandable, and you're right. It's not so much that it's less important. It's more of just like you're not seeing any characters where the style would change just too drastically.
And there are a couple like instances where I do like redraw a couple of faces just because it's like, ooh, that's really off model. But I try to keep that to a bare minimum, so I'm not just like redoing old pages all the time.
No, that's totally understandable. What the? Punk. We're okay. Thank you all. Another mission accomplished by the Thunderstar and her two mighty champions. Okay, but no one got hurt, right? Oof. Tell me that was the ship. What's left of it? Goody. Sorry about the mess. We'll clean it up ASAP. Not looking to flip when you hear what happened. Just saying. We searched the remains. Still no sign of Blue Squadron. It was like they were never there. It could have been an ambush by the Kragon pirates. Granted, they never attacked our ranks, but it could have been them. Thank you, captains. I will review your data. Dismissed. Sorry, guys. Hey, how's it? Williams, I heard about your little display over the Aeon Belt, as well as the mess you made in the hangar. Sir, we got attacked in the Callum cluster. Where are we? Breathe, Williams. You are allowed to breathe. Mr. Flynn, what exactly was the mission I assigned you both? To monitor any unusual activities, sir, and report it. Anything else? Without engaging in combat. Preferably. Mr. Flynn, wait outside for further instruction. I think an enemy fleet attacking an official royal captain could be filed under unusual activity, Williams. Captain Phoenix chose you because you showed great promise, despite your unfortunate upbringing. He believed in what you would become, and risking your life over a petty dogfight is how you choose to repay him? They attacked first. Well, you certainly took pride in finishing them, didn't you? What if that asteroid had killed you? You never think these things through. It came out of nowhere. Besides, wasn't it a captain who once said, "Risk is our business"? Do not speak to your king in such harsh tones, young lady. Your duty is to your kingdom, and as long as you fly with the royal fleet, you will heed by our rules. Risk may be a business, but order is how we keep the galaxy in check. This is what the old god teaches us, Williams. Why can you not respect that? With all due respect, sir, I'm not the old guard. That much is certain. Next time, listen to reason and do as you're told. Nice going, Captain. Pew, 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 pew. And here we start getting more of the goth babe that she is.
Yeah, really trying to get that kind of hammered in, getting to know her a little bit around people who aren't captains and aren't regal authority.
Mm-hmm. Novelty blacksmith. Swing, swing. You're such a dork. What can I say? Dyslexia is messing with me. Theatricality can be very popular. Guess I can't argue with that. Hello, Amanda. Hey, Tyrone. Schmooch. So, how did it go? Oh, just peachy. Kissed my hand and declared me princess. Lucky you. Yeah, well, you don't get to be king of the galaxy by being a softie. I doubt a softie could have fought off a rogue fleet like you. Yeah. So, have you given it more thought? As a matter of fact, no, I haven't. The captain would kill to have a sword fighter in their ranks. Last time I checked, no one needed a sword to fly a ship. It'd be a fun experiment. Pop off the joystick, shove it in. Amanda. Ty, he's coming. We need all the fighters we can get. Real fighters. They just knew what you really were. The captains don't need another fighter. They need you. Aw. Shucks. Positive affirmation. Dun, dun, dun. End of chapter 1. So
ominous.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here's a question. How did you come up with the design of this particular ship? Because Xerx's ship is like such a stark contrast to what most like armada leading ships in most sci-fi tend to look like. They tend to be like these big, thick, imposing things, and this is still huge, but it's very much more like sleek and almost arrowhead like.
Yeah, so one of the big things kind of like when I was first designing a lot of Thunderstar was like, especially towards the beginning, like it's funny you say that because like originally Xerx's ship did look like just kind of a generic kind of star destroyer, very militaristic, kind of boxy sort of a thing. And kind of looking at it, it's like, yeah, no, I didn't really want to do that, especially since it's like, again, it's like we've seen this before and there's already like so many influences from Star Wars that it's just like, no, I want to come up with something like a little more unique. And kind of the thing that I looked at a lot was just kind of looking around, again, kind of going through Pinterest and being like, oh, like as you'll see with like this cult, they're very much based around this this deity called the Dark Lloyd Fell Beast, who's this giant dragon, and so I looked at a lot of like fantasy dragon designs, and some of the cooler ones I found were like ones that like were kind of just like crackling with like, they almost look like they came like almost like these living volcanoes where you have like you see fire kind of like crackling from their skin and stuff. And even just looking at stuff like the Tron movies where they have like you know, like usually what looks like kind of black surfaces, but then you have like these neon kind of like outlines, kind of giving them form, and I really like those kinds of textures. And then even just as far as like the shape of the thing goes, I looked at everything from like, again, illustrations of like fantasy dragons to even stuff as obscure as like Douglas Adams, like Starship Titanic, that computer game.
Oh, wow.
Where it's like you have this massive ship, but it almost looks like this kind of Art Deco-y kind of like, almost like a water ship almost, but like with these giant fins, and it's like this spaceship design, and I'm like, oh man. And that's why, like, with Zarek's ship, like, we'll get a few pages in, but before we get like a big kind of vista shot of the thing, but it has like these huge kind of like vertical fins, and that was kind of my little homage to Starship Titanic in that regard. So those were kind of the big influences on Zarek's ship, the Space Conqueror, as I came to call it.
Nice. Small note before we move on. Sad face.
Yeah. And one other thing I did want to bring up with the previous page, it's funny because with the first chapter, it was a lot of like kind of trial and error. It was taking me a long time to kind of like really get the story down. As soon as it got to this page, this exchange of the captains don't need another fighter, they need you. For some reason, that was the page that made me go, I want to see this through to completion, because as a reader, well, first of all, as a reader, it's a really nice way of showing that Tyrone is going to be there for Amanda no matter what, even this early on in the story. But it also, like, to me, reading it kind of invoked a lot of questions of just like, well, who is she? Like, if he's that confident in who she is, it's like, you know, what is it about this girl that's so, like, that he sees that other people don't, especially when most other people tend to, like, look down on her, or like or not see what she has to offer, that it's like, what does he see that other people don't? And that was kind of the nice little question I tried to put at the end of the first chapter here.
Yeah, no, it's very much like, speaking as someone from both a reader and a writer perspective, since I have touched on in both areas before. Just the fact that there's information here we're not privy to. She knows something about him, but he has every confidence between her that, for whatever reason, doesn't need to be said out loud.
Yeah,
and
they have a history.
Yeah, there's a clear history here, which it's going back to like the Star Wars bit. Like when the first movie started, and the first thing you see is just a hallway of dead bodies with Vader standing there, and you're just like, something happened here.
Yeah. Exactly. It's trying to get those feelings.
Yeah, it's the same kind of situation, only instead of something cruel, it's something compassionate and like love, and that's just something I do love seeing, where it's, you get to establish the characters, and then you get to touch on the stuff later on that about the history between all of them. But yeah, like when you mentioned it never occurred to me, but yeah, this definitely has like the light cycle vibes from Tron.
Yeah, oh for sure. Like as soon as you get to like the really like piercing neon and the it's like, it's kind of that mode of like, that kind of like the synthetic of like the bad guys versus the organic shapes of like the good guys, and even just down to color schemes too, which you guys will see shortly.
Yeah. Okay, so is this Tyrone or Amanda speaking here?
This is Amanda starting it off.
Okay. I forgot how gorgeous this city was at night. I wish my mom and dad could have seen it. Would have made for a decent vacation. At least her mom and dad weren't absolute shut-ins. Father barely went out for groceries. Not the city type, huh? He was always so paranoid. It was a miracle he let me open a window. What did your mom have to say? She was never around. All I knew was she came from someplace special, and a part of her lives inside me. Hey, what's that? Wait, this is someone else. Hey,
Yeah,
what's
someone
that?
else. It's like,
Yeah. I also do love how most everyone else tends to have like these almost rounded curved eyes, and hers are very much like square and angled in
yeah, they're
contrast.
like little diamonds. Yeah, it
Mhm.
already, like, again, anything to kind of differentiate, like to make her look different, like right off the bat. It's kind of like Belle in Beauty and the Beast, like wearing all blue where everybody else is like wearing red or some very like warmer color, and then like she wears blue, and that's the thing that you see to like differentiate her from the entire crowd. It's like here, it's like, yeah, it's like creating that little stylistic thing where it's just like, oh, her eyes are diamond. So
Yeah.
already it's like, oh, maybe she sees things a different way, like literally sees things.
Yeah. You say Beauty and the Beast, and now I'm just imagining Amanda doing the bonjour scene.
Oh, there's an April Fool's joke that I need to touch back on in like a few months.
I would love to see that. Bum bum. Ah, God.
How's that for a big chapter opener?
Yeah, so good. Chapter 2, The Unexpected Visitor. God. Yeah, like now that you're seeing it like from the front, if you just saw this staring down at you, you would definitely think something demonic was coming.
Yeah, just the kind of like, oh no, why?
Yeah, definitely. Zarek. No. Why? And the demon cultists begin flying out. Capital is under attack. All pilots, man your ships. The capital is under attack. Boom, 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 boom. Lieutenant, find your captain and get to your ship. The classic space fight. Oh no! Bang. Never unarmed. Come on.
They teach. It's
Yeah.
what they teach you in captain school.
Yeah, at the academy. Come on, let's get you somewhere safe. Amanda! A little help would go a long way. Boom. You're the best. Yeah. Just a little yeah.
Yeah.
Nice catch. I learned from the cutest. Winky face.
Yeah, they're just so cute together.
Yeah. They have a clear dynamic.
Yeah, they've been taking fencing together.
Mm-hmm. Also, where did you get that sword?
Swiped it off one of the guards, or one of the men guys.
You. And now we're in a fight. God. Like I love the designs for these guys. Like they're almost ninja-like, but everything about them is just so bulky.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I tried like definitely thinking of like the winged monkeys from the Wizard of Oz, but like trying to make them kind of like like looking at them, you can very much clear that it's like that they're descended from Zarek, or like they're part of Zarek's cult. So like as you'll see in a minute, it's like yeah, you can tell that these guys are like they try to hoard that like, oh, everybody looks equal or everybody is equal, but it's like it's more of a cult mentality where it's just like they're all trying to like, it's like that kind of hive mind sort of look there. They're all look kind of similar to each other.
Yeah. And the Violet says in chat, so that's what we're calling it now? Fencing?
It's not really, yeah, it's very much one-sided in its presentation, but yes.
And here we have him, Zarek.
A big man.
He thick. It's like
the head honcho. Yeah, it's
brick
just the
wall.
camera angle. The camera angle doesn't help much.
Nah. But I do appreciate when like these characters who are like imposing just get their own splash page. It's just like, oh yeah, fuck.
Somebody like him, it's like, oh yeah, you want to see him in his like full glory of just letting us know this. Like, no, he's in charge. Just visually, we know he's in charge. He has his own splash page.
Yeah. Oof. Take the persistent ones aboard. Kill the rest. Whoop. Oh, he knows. He knows.
Chat, does he know? I think he knows, chat.
Okay. So much for taking back the entrance. Clang. Phew. This is why you should trade out energy weapons for good old-fashioned hard point calibers.
Yeah. This is why it's important to stock up on ammo, kids.
Yep. Yeah. Shank. This is less a shank and more a stab, but we'll let it pass.
Yeah. It's how he delivered the shank that's important.
That's fair. Still think I'd be better off world?
Hello there.
Oh. Hey, Medley, welcome on in. Welcome on in. Good to see you.
Oh my gosh, it's Medley.
Yeah, it's
Wild Medley encounter.
Yeah, Medley 20 of Tales of Alderwood fame.
Oh my gosh, the celebrity, the YouTube celebrity.
Howdy. Lol. You pathetic insects will burn before the Dark Lord felled beast. Bing, bing, bing,
Mr.
bing.
Zarek, I don't feel so good.
No, that is normal. Jet, where are you? I'm at the palace, but something's wrong. How's everyone's day today? How's everyone doing today is what that properly says. I can read, I can English. My day's going well, having a good time with episode 1 of season 2 of Comic Club with the wonderful Star Speed. Just
Hello.
yeah, just a gay old time here.
I'm enjoying my day off, chatting comics and getting to talk about Thunderstar with Comic here.
Hell yeah.
It's going well. It's going very well.
I dug out Violet. I dug out my old Pathfinder First Edition books because I'm very rusty on the rules. That's fair. There are a lot of them. The one I always harken back to, because like no matter how much I love Pathfinder 1, there are rules for literally everything. And it's just like, oh, do you want to drink a potion? Attack of opportunity. Oh, you want to reload your gun? Attack of opportunity. Because in the year of our Lord 2024, I am playing Pathfinder First Edition. That's valid. Still a fun system. They're busting in like wildfire. Never seen anything like it. Their leader. Whoomp. He's built like a monolith. He's gotta go to the gym. All the guards are either taken hostage or dead. And gods, those eyes. Picked up the first edition core book for half price USD. Half price used. Nice. Okay, so no sissy, no one normally watching. So what's up? Not much, Horace. Welcome on in. So we have that now for the communal library. Oh, kick ass. Yeah, just waves his hand and legions die before him.
Yeah, it's already showing you just like it's like nope, he's not screwing around.
Nah, not at all.
He means business.
But Horace, we're just reading here the story of Thunderstar and giving some wonderful creators commentary as we go along. It's really rather fun.
Hello, I'm the creator.
Yeah, this is Starspeed or Ryan Light. Trying to win FTL. I haven't played FTL, but I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Jet, stay out of sight, you hear me? Me and Tyrone are coming over to the palace now. What's wrong? Zeric's going after the king. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Ah. I imagine this is just a Wilhelm scream.
Oh yeah, like somewhere there is a muddled Wilhelm, and amongst all the shooting and the shooting and the explosions and the death of the nice lady
and Freileiven.
Exactly.
Yep. I know Animaniacs.
Yes.
Boom, boom. It has been a long time, King Thorius. My, how the years have been unkind. Last time, I remember your gods were less disposable. Perhaps you misunderstood our last visit, when I informed you that you were banished. I misunderstood nothing. I wish to enlighten you, Thorius, to bring you good tidings. You invade my city, you kill my staff, you barge into my private chambers, and you wish to bring me good tidings. Kind of looks like 2003 Count Dooku. I didn't want to say it. It's like there's definitely like almost Clone Wars Count Dooku vibes.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of that, and without spoiling anything, yeah, kind of addressing that in just kind of a nice little way. I do find a nice little way of addressing that without outright saying it, without spoiling anything. One of the later chapters that has not been published yet, so I can't spoil too much, but we do poke at that a little bit.
Nice. I'll look forward to it. Violet says I thought that was intentional, and I'm sure some of it definitely is.
Yes. Well, and just stylistically, it's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of character designs that I absolutely took from Genndy Tartakovsky.
I mean, it's such a good art style.
It is. It's really, I love it.
Mm-hmm. Of course you know whom I serve. And you know why I traveled to Armagnarok.
Armagnarok.
Yeah. Kind of like Ragnarok, but Armagnarok.
Yes.
The time is drawing near, Thorius. The return. If your theatrics are meant to frighten me, General, your invasion was a waste of my time. My dear old friend, spoken like a true monarch. You still think this is about you? God, he is a tall bastard.
he's pretty darn tall, and like Amanda's already pretty short as it is, so like already that should give you kind of a good idea of like kind of size, like size to size ratio.
Yeah.
With these characters.
This scratches the size difference need in my brain.
Yes.
You think I traveled beyond the outer quadrants to kill you? If I wanted you dead, you would be a pile of ash by now. My true prize is heading this way.
Yo, Canhead! Boom. Stand down, you dumb krug. A swear word that's
Whoa.
okay for kids.
Yeah, it's okay because they're alien curse words.
Yeah. Yeah, you're done. Whoom. Not only is he thick, he's also agile.
Heck yeah.
God, like every time I see these, the only thing I can think of, like when a villain decides to like do some kind of acrobatics, it's just like, oh, finally, all that training.
Yes. You do backflips, bruh? I do.
On the contrary, my young friends,
Bum, bum. Thick and agile. Somewhere Emmy is drooling. Thank you for the idea. Now I know what kind of NPC to run next time you do an Emmy style character.
you have no idea what fate awaits you.
Wah. Speaking of holding a sword aloft.
Oh dang, he's got a flame sword, baby.
He's got a sword. He's got a sword. another epic reference for all of you epic fans.
Yes.
Ty. I can hear you laughing in the other room, Violet. Clang, wum, wum. Not me choking through the wall, yeah. And I always do love like the Spider-Man effect where like the visor does the reactions for you.
Oh yeah, it's just like because you want like, especially in like a somewhat animated form like this, you want to. It's like as much as I love like the kind of subtle like physical acting, there are just times like this where you just want to communicate a little bit more like, ooh, this guy's like, this guy's something else.
Like, just the faceless emoting of the helmet that Zarek wears is just so good.
Yeah. Something you couldn't quite get away with in live action, but
No.
yeah, works pretty nicely here.
Yeah, like they tried doing it in I forget which Avenger movie when he finally gets when Spider-Man finally gets the like eyes that kind of open and adjust to imitate that
and
emoting.
I do kind of like those, but and it's like they do find a creative way to kind of work that in, and they do that with like the Insomniac Spider-Man games as well. But there is just something that kind of nice and that just kind of embraces kind of the cartooniness.
It makes it feel more organic in a way.
Yeah.
Whoop 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 whoop, man. Tyrone got them skills. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah. Funny that.
Ah!
Now, how does a novelty blacksmith move with such grace and agility as yours? Then again, I think we both know what the answer is.
God, I love this like contrast right here. Like it goes from nothing to him to her.
Yeah.
He took the swashbuckler subclass.
Yeah, really, seriously. This was like, there's a couple of panels or pages like this that I very much took from like Frank Miller comics, like from Ronin. There's very much like he loves playing with like the vertical panels like when they're doing like sword fights and everything. So this was kind of my homage to Frank Miller there.
Oh, that's totally understandable. I've seen bits and pieces of Ronin. I've never given it a real good read, but it's definitely like one of those things that's really, really deep in my list to read.
Oh yeah, it's basically like an R-rated version of Samurai Jack with like blood and guts and stuff. Because it's Frank Miller, but it's Samurai Jack took a lot from that comic. My opinion made it better, but that's neither here nor there.
That's fair, yeah. Whoop, boom. Bitch, please. Captain! No, come on. Captain, your arms hurt pretty bad. I need to get you to... No, wait!
It's like, nope, you are not taking him.
Yeah. Zarek, put him down.
Are you sure those are the words you like to use? Because unless you lower your little toy, and I can show you myself just how poorly you've chosen those words.
And it looks like we do have an ad break incoming in a few minutes. And as always, for those of you who are like just joining us, I do have it set for 3-minute ad breaks. That way we can prevent pre-rolls. But when the ads do happen, we basically just stop whatever we're doing and we wait for the ads to end. That way nobody misses anything. Yeah, when you can't back up the ultimatum.
Oh yeah.
Heartbreaking. Ow. I totally should. I wish I knew how to make it time it to work like that. I should totally do it. That one comic guy will be right back after these messages.
Yeah, really. After this emotional, like freaking screaming at the heavens, like,
Yeah.
you know, up next, more SpongeBob. Like,
Yeah.
oh gosh.
I wonder if there's a way I can do that with Siri bot. I'll have to look that up if I can change the ad message.
Oh my gosh.
But that'll be for later comic.
Yes.
I'll have to make a note of it. I'll just write that in my personal dump real quick.
Yeah.
I bet you could make it a scene in OBS. Oh, I totally could make it a scene in OBS. I would want to get some assets for it or some kind of art. That would be great.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. So are we just waiting for the ads to end, or?
No, I was just making a note. The ads haven't started yet.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But the ads are going to start in like about 30 seconds, so we can just shoot the shit and then wait for them to finish up.
Okay.
But any commentary like you personally have about this chapter?
Yeah. Oh gosh, chapter 2. I mean, like, aside from again, kind of the like. Looking at some of the artwork and stuff, and how Tyrone's face like changes like 3 times throughout the course of the entire comic, but no, this was another one where like, again, kind of by the time I got to this page and was getting to like, oh, like there's actual stakes here. Not just with like introducing Zarek, but like really establishing that it's like, no, he's coming in and he means business, and that, like, again, kind of introducing a little bit of history without like spelling it out for the audience there, but yeah, kind of building it all up to like this big moment. And I knew there had to be some like big kind of climactic, just like holy crap, just like on top of like, you know, because it's like he kidnaps Tyrone, and like it felt like there needed to be like some big kind of just like, you know, big end of the chapter, like holy crap kind of moment. And I can't quite remember where, like, how I came up with the idea of just her big scream, other than I think I was watching Fury Road at one point, and it just got to the part where where they reach the many mothers, and she just like, she realizes that her home's been destroyed. She has that moment where she just lets out that big just scream, and just like lets that out, and I mean, we can't hear it, but like we know it's there. And on top of just like, in context here of it being like just this big moment, it's already suggesting that it's like, oh no, he means the world to her, and like for reasons that we'll discover, it's like, no, they are close. And
all right,
and trying to ask those questions without really asking them.
And that's understandable.
And on top of that, also just having this be like, you know, this turned out to be like, I showed this to my older sister at one point, and like, and No, I was talking about that, like, at the time, I was like, oh, yeah, like, I'm pretty happy with this shot, but, like, I feel like I could have, like, pushed the scream a little more, and then she was telling me, I was like, no, this was, like, one of the most haunting parts of the comic, from, like, oh, really? Like, one of the most haunting, huh? Like, all right, I'm not changing anything. If it's getting that kind of reaction, then I'm not changing anything.
Yeah. All right. Ads are about halfway done. Yeah. But yeah, it is a very, very, like, effective scene, because generally when someone, like, does a scream like this, like, a lot of classic styles will just have the word bubble be, like, up here, and it won't really take up much room, so you just kind of get them, like, you get the screaming effect across. But when it's just, like, when you break the rules of a comic and just have it like this, that means something.
Well, yeah, it's like in Calvin and Hobbes, where it's like, especially like the later strips, where like, he's literally breaking out of the panels just to like run away because he doesn't want to go to the bathtub, and then you like see like just him screaming no, and like it like breaks the confines of the comic book. Of the panels there, just try to make it so that it's just like, yeah, what, like, that was kind of the fun doing this comic, as well as just been like playing around with, like, okay, what can you do with a comic? Like, obviously it's important to learn the rules, but then once you learn the rules, you want to like bend them, and in some cases even break them. But yeah, just try to experiment around and go, like, how can I tell this, like, story visually in, like, really effective ways?
Yeah, and welcome back, everybody, from Ad Hell. We do appreciate it. They do support what we do here at the Endless Archives, but please consider subscribing if you're able to. And if you have Amazon Prime, you do get 1 free subscription every month to a channel of your choice. So if you want to toss your Bezos bucks at me, I will happily appreciate it.
Yes, please. This is a very good stream.
Oh, thank you.
Won't be sorry. You will not be sorry.
Yeah, but just like it going from this haunting panel here of this rule-breaking scream, the like little bit of saliva here that normally you don't see people tend to do a lot, but just like that almost human touch of just like, no, this is messy, this is distraught.
Yeah, I play with ugly, like, Amanda does quite a bit of ugly crying in this comic, and I don't shy away from it.
Yeah. And then we get to here when all that adrenaline and all the endorphins wears off, and it's just,
yeah,
ow. And that could mean so many different kinds of pain too.
Absolutely. And just playing with that subtlety was just like, I loved doing stuff like that.
Chapter 3, Breaking Point. Yeah. Searching for survivors. A mama found her kids, or someone found someone.
Lots of dealing with the aftermath from the citizens' point of view.
The attack was clearly meant to provoke us. Zarek had every opportunity to obliterate the entire city. Instead, he chose only to destroy key landmarks and cripple our defenses. Your Highness, our resources are depleted. How are we supposed to fight back? Yeah, what's our next attack plan? Our attack plan is to rebuild and strengthen in numbers. We cannot fight a war without a strong foundation. Captain Kianis, round up the engineers and concentrate on fixing the communications tower. Captain Nayrin, our security must be tightened if we are to survive another attack. Captain Summers, you'll be joining Nayrin with security. Enjoy. If Zarek thinks he can rip through... oh wait, no, this is that other captain. If Zarek thinks he can rip through my guys, he's got another thing coming. We're down, but we're not out. And blah, 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 blah. What about Tyrone? The blacksmith? Seriously, we all know him. We all know you're going out with him, but grow up, Williams. Hey, don't judge me, Sunshine. I lost more than you'll ever.
Williams?
Boop. Doesn't anyone think it's a little weird that a holier-than-thou guy like Zarek stopped a whole invasion just to take one blacksmith back to his ship? He said it himself. If he wanted King Thaddeus dead, he would have done it first chance he had. Sir, during the attack, the way Zarek was talking about the return, and one of those soldiers, as he was dying, he mentioned the Dark Lloyd Fellbeast.
Whoa. To
Name
say
drop.
Yep. Everyone knows what that is. The audience doesn't.
For now.
For now.
To say the Dark Lord Fellbeast nearly destroyed us all is an understatement. That demon was a god to be feared, and Zarek has been trying to bring it back for decades.
Sir, what if Tyrone's got something to do with it? What if he's got something that could bring it back? Impossible. How can a novelty blacksmith resurrect an ancient demon? She knows.
You know something.
Yep.
Captain Marcus is right. Your priorities are to your people. One blacksmith won't change anything. You need to be more like Marcus and know your place.
Oh.
Like, excuse you?
1, sexist. 2, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, really.
Now then, you all know what to do. Fly with the honor of our heroic past.
God. That reminds me of a line I came up with for a future D&D campaign I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A part of it I took from an old book series I used to read, but it goes, may the first of us remember you. No, may the first of us watch over you. May the last of us remember you. May you always be triumphant.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. Yeah.
May you always be triumphant. I totally ripped off from the Cirque du Freak series.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Eyes emoji.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look at me all you want, Violet. Next campaign. It's the next campaign I plan on running. It's a completely new setting. It's going to be completely unrelated to anything I've done previously. Your Highness, wait!
Go home, Williams.
We need to go after Zarek. We need warships, dreadnoughts.
One man is not worth the entire fleet.
Then send me. If it's just me and Jet, you wouldn't risk anyone except for us.
You were assigned to crowd control until further notice.
What?
That madman has taken too many lives. Bum, bum. This is for your own good. Disobey me, and you will no longer be a captain.
I don't know about you folks, but this feels important.
Foreshadowing.
Yep. Le gasp.
Yes.
Exactly, Horace.
You think the king might have some personal stakes in this affair?
Who knows?
Bum, ba-dum, bum.
Novelty blacksmith. Oh, I definitely thought of the next question that I have. I notice all of the captains have different symbols on their helmets.
Yes.
Is that something that's explained later, or is that something you haven't really touched on?
It's something I haven't touched on because I kind of wanted that to be part of just kind of like subconscious sort of kind of world building, where it's like, it's kind of one of the things where like every captain kind of gets their own sort of like they come up with their own kind of like insignia or like little logo. I mean, like every captain has like the red helmet and the red coat, but then they get like their own little like kind of like how in like the original Star Trek series, how it's like you'd have the colored shirts, but then like depending on which crew you were on, like Captain Kirk had like the standard Starfleet logo. I think some of the other crews, like for other ships, had like they almost looked like little like actual stars. So it's kind of like that, where it's just like every captain gets their own like little unique kind of flair to sort of like signify it's like, oh, it's that person's ship, oh, it's that person's ship. On top of also having their own like unique sort of ship design that their lieutenants kind of build for them as kind of a rite of passage.
Yeah, that always bugged me. Oh, I assume you're talking about like the Star Trek stuff.
Well, yeah, well, in the context of the original series, it really made no sense because it's like, well, like they just didn't quite figure out the costume design quite yet, or the design for Starfleet insignias. But like, at least in the case of this, it's like, I didn't bring it up just because like within the story, because it wasn't important, but that was always one of those like little world building notes that I had when I was designing them originally.
Yeah, that totally makes sense, because like some details you don't really need to explain because it doesn't have relevance to the plot. One of the biggest examples that it was memed to death is in the Song of Ice and Fire, the books. George R.R. Martin, he goes into way too much detail sometimes. Like there's one scene where he describes a man eating like a turkey leg or something, and then he goes into detail of like the grease dripping down his chin into his beard down, and it goes on and on.
Gosh. Well, there is a charm to that as well, but yeah, at least with something like this, where it's like you want to keep the action going, especially since this is a sci-fi action comic. It's like, yeah, you try not to get bogged down too much in the details unless you really have to get into it.
Yeah. That's good to know.
Yeah, no problem. Kids from earlier.
Yeah, the kids from earlier showing respect to a captain.
Yep.
God, this is a good one right here.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite pages.
Captain? You glomp. Looks good. Yeah, for real. Totally agreed. So, good news. Everything checks out. He's ready for our next flight. Apologies if y'all heard me stabbing my TV dinner. I didn't hear a thing. Whoosh. Captain Williams, what are you doing? But Captain, I need to get the all clear from Jet. Captain Williams, please disengage. You are not cleared for departure. This is crazy. Why are you doing this? Just say I kidnapped you against your will, okay? Yeah. Primary ignition active. Engines charged. All systems check out. Thunderstar, I have strict orders from the king. You and your engineer are not permitted to leave. Disengage or we will use force. Go, go, go! Attention. Unauthorized takeoff in place. Hangar doors closing. Captain, there's a charming group of men with guns outside, and I don't think they're in a good mood in the mood to reason. What are you doing? Do as you're told, Williams. Grow up, Williams. Captain Williams, if you take off, we are placing you under arrest. Step out of your ship, now! The captains don't need another fighter. They need you. Oh, God, and the sudden color shifting, that is so good.
Yeah, well, and that's just like, I mean, up until now, it's just like you could just see the color getting sucked out more and more as her, like, sense of being is kind of, like, shattered. And then here it's just like, boom, like, just full Spider-Verse, just like, no, I'm taking action.
Yeah, it's like, it's the turmoil of, do I listen? Nah, fuck that.
Yeah. Like, yep, no turning back.
Yeah. $5 say they have stormtrooper aim. Depending on which theories you listen to, like the stormtrooper aim may be on purpose. Crock. Yeah. Ah. Exiting the atmosphere. Sir? Can you track the Thunderstar's ion trail? Yes, sire. Alert Captain Jaden and Tectonics. Follow that ship. If she tries to contact us, patch her to me right away. One Williams brought in alive. No deaths. You'd better be right about this. He totally saw this coming.
Oh yeah, there's just like a little, and you can even see like in the king's reaction there, it's like he's got just a little ghost of a smile there to know that it's just like, okay, like he's not happy, but he's also like, he knew that she was gonna do this. Like there's a part of him that like didn't want to admit it, but it's just like, no, you were always going to do this, and you were always going to go after him.
Yeah, it was. He just did it as a formality, so it wouldn't be like showing favoritism.
Exactly.
Gotta love it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that we're officially wanted fugitives of the galaxy, what's next on our agenda? We're going to the Neon Outpost. There's got to be someone who knows what Zarek is up to. Oh, right, silly me. Go after the big bad, duh. I've just got one question. Common sense, actually. Rob a space bank?
Yes, but next to that.
Yeah, after that. How are we going to stop Zarek when he's got a cult of scary monsters with wings, and we're just one tiny ship? You do have a plan for stopping him, right? Captain? So we're wanted fugitives and have no plan! Can't wait to see how this works out! Silly me for tagging along on a teeny tiny suicide mission! Jet, if we stayed and did nothing but fortify our position, nothing would get done. So how does the flow of this dialogue work? Is it one, two, three?
It's Jet, if we stayed and did nothing but fortify our position, nothing would get done. We can't just sit around and let those monsters bring their doomsday lizard god back to life. Tyrone's got secrets, and I bet my life that at least one of them can do just that. So it's, again, try to, like, I was still kind of in the beginning stages of, figuring out, like, page layout and stuff, but I was trying to have it so that it's, like, having her, you're like, following the kind of word balloons there, like, the word balloon, like, as it is, and then kind of loops back around to Amanda, and then I had her leaning into kind of the left panel there, kind of the page panel left, to just kind of, like, visually indicate it's like, no, you go here. But yeah, it's a little on the clunky side, and if I were doing it now, I would have staged it a little different, obviously, to kind of boost up the lettering there. I'm just like, dang it, like that's just one of those things where it's just like, man, I just didn't know any better at the time.
Yeah, and that's totally understandable. Mistakes like that are gonna happen.
Yeah. But yeah, one of these days, like if I definitely love to touch that up a bit, because like that was one of those things that always bugged me. So one of these days on one of these streams, I'd like to kind of like touch that page up a little bit.
Yeah, totally. Jet, if we stayed and did nothing but fortify our position, nothing would get done. We can't just sit around and let those monsters bring back their doomsday lizard god back to life. Tyrone's got secrets, and I'd bet my life that at least one of them can do just that. No, Medley says, you've gotten a lot better at it in more recent chapters, though. And if I remembering correctly, like you come leaps and bounds as things progress.
Thanks, Medley. Well, and she's read like all of my like current like work in progress chapter pages too, so it's like now like she knows.
She knows. When you say he's got secrets. End of chapter 3.
End of chapter 3. On that note, let's see. So, let's see. Keep the comic going. I need to check up on something real quick. I will be right back.
Yeah, of course.
If you have any questions, hold on to those or keep on reading. Whatever you need to do, I will be back in just 1 second.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Chapter 4. The Neon Outpost. Hi, you must be my new cellmates. Nice to meet you. So, I don't suppose either of you are going to tell me why Zarek brought me here? If you don't start speaking, I'm going to come up with silly names for each of you. Whoosh. Oh, there you are. I was just talking about you.
Tyrone Poe, novelty blacksmith extraordinaire.
Excuse me, I prefer the term Esquire.
How would you prefer the term esteemed corpse?
Well, that wouldn't make me much of a prize for your master, now would it?
Indeed. Then again, with a mouth like yours, one might assume you're hiding something. Remove his shirt.
Now, hold on, boys. Trip. This is brand new. Who said you could... Bum.
So, a half-demon, hiding in the king's capital. No doubt you got your wings from your father. What do you know of your mother?
She was good at hiding, no doubt.
Make sure he doesn't leave before the banquet. Wham. We need you in tip-top shape for the ritual.
Well, that's just peachy. Yeah, you can see why we didn't tell anyone. What happens if the king finds out he's half demon? But Zarek has legions of flying furies at his beck and call. What makes Tyrone so special? One, how dare you? Tyrone is my man. That makes him special. Two, he hid a full set of dragon wings for years. The dude has secrets. But you know all about him. He never told me he can run through fire.
Snooze. Ba-ba. Whoop.
We're here.
Welcome to the Neon Outpost. Subtle. Dancing. Quote unquote dancing.
All right, and I'm back.
Welcome back. We just got to the Neon Outpost.
Oh yeah, the spoilers. Tyrone's a half demon. Oops.
Yeah.
Big revelation. Much.
Yeah, big revelation. And also, we're on the Neon Outpost where there's quote unquote dancing.
Excellent.
Embrace, you
You
know.
know, for kids.
Yeah, for kids. Lucky Cosmos is dancing.
Welcome to the Neon Outpost. Identification for VIP parking, please. Captain, if he IDs us... Yeah, noted. Oh, sorry, but without identification, I will have to ask you to click to enjoy your stay, visitor. Thanks, friend. What are we, mercs? We're only allowed to threaten as a last resort. True. But how good is a threat? Shoot without any ammo. Show off. Just try and stay close, homie. Thing to remember about this place. Easy to lose yourself.
Just imagining the club music from that one episode of Samurai Jack.
Mm-hmm. The next several pages are basically my big excuse to draw whatever crazy alien designs I wanted. How I was feeling that day.
Yeah, that's understandable. You gotta love it when you can just go ham. That's them.
Time to move in. Oh, you've gotta be tripping the gun on me. What? I know who we need to see.
Bounty's dome.
It's not even a dome. What kind of idiot would advertise that? Hey! Captain, ow, what are you? Amanda, hey! Listen, now the guy who runs that club, chances are he can point us to where we need to go. How convenient. But he's dangerous. He's got hired guns all over the station, decides he doesn't like us. Bang.
Okay, he's a sensitive big shot. Got it.
Look, it wouldn't be so bad if... He's got kind of a silly name.
Captain, we're surrounded by aliens. Everyone here's got a silly name.
What? Ow! That's racist. Not cool.
Sorry. We ain't having none of that racist shit here.
Yeah, just up but fair. That's how she teaches.
Yep.
Look, you cannot laugh at his name or he'll kill us. Got it?
All right, fine. So what is it?
Are you serious? How does anyone take him seriously with the name? Like... Oh. Yeah. Taserface!
Lead headmaster Taserface.
Yep.
Tell you what, I'll handle the talking. Just watch my back. In case it goes south. Got it? Cool. No pressure.
You let them in. Why can't I go in? I'm with them.
Yeah, that's basically what he's saying, and like if you look really closely, you can see that like the alien lingo is just a little bit like they're mostly English words. They're just like spelled backwards and heavily stylized.
Yeah. So, how exactly do you know this guy?
He's had a firm grip of the Neon Outpost for a long time. Long enough to leave a stain.
Make it sound like you two go back a ways.
Let's just say he's never been good with kids.
You know, for kids.
Uh-huh. You got little praying mantis dancers and
yeah. And they have hoops. Hoops.
Oops, that tells ya.
There's nothing like untoward or risque happening here.
Oh yeah, it's totally not.
Dancing. No, pardon me. Making their way deeper. Sir, the royal captain is here. She wants to see you.
Just remember,
Don't insult his name or we're dead.
the universe has taught you well.
Some good old-fashioned fencing. Yeah, just fencing. God, that just starts making me think of like all the pickup lines. It's like, hey, you want to go see my rapier?
Oh God. That's probably how some of their dates went too.
Probably. God, I love how grimy the color scheme looks in this scene. Yeah, I do love that. Like all of the splotchiness all around here, like the
Oh, yeah, it's
the
just
contrast
a
between the people.
Slimy, disgusting place that you just want to get out of.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I remember this guy, and I remember I did a voice for him, but I know it wasn't the voice I wanted. But I think I figured it out as I was going. It's like,
Yeah. Amanda Williams. I almost didn't recognize you with your stench of law and order. And who's this pathetic underling? A peace offering?
my engineer.
I see. Of course, if you are an offering. I'm sure the girls would appreciate a new dancer to join them. How do you like my new fighters, by the way?
Fighters?
Oh, come now, Captain. Don't tell me you didn't recognize my boys back at the Eon Built.
I mean, they were trying to shoot at me. I wasn't in the best position to admire your handiwork.
Oh, yes. Why, of course, forgive me. I do have a nasty habit of picking fights with people who have mistreated me in the past.
Eon Prime was attacked a week ago. Full-scale invasion. Big league stuff. I'm looking for General Zarek.
You know, I did hear about this attack. General Zurich, eh? Strange times indeed, especially for the king to entrust such a dangerous mission in the hands of two children.
We need to find a way to beat him. Normal guns don't do it. We need something stronger. Just point us in the right direction and we'll go.
There are rumors of a mystical being on the far western continent of the Orontia system. King's witch wanders the land like an aimless traveler. You escape, she may know how to, as you humans would say, meet him.
Wait, what do you mean escape? Click.
I take it I take it you found King Thaddeus' two runaway gentlemen.
Right on the credits. You've got a lot to answer for, Williams. Court-martial will be the least of your problems when we get back.
We still get a fair trial, right?
Nope.
So that's it. He's going to sell us out without so much as a gloat.
Let's gloat. The outpost is mine.
Captain, we're in enough trouble as is.
If the bounty hunters of the galaxy answer to me, and in time, even King Thaddeus will come to fear the most powerful business lord in all of the inner quadrant, Kale Cruton.
Kale Crouton.
Crouton, okay. Like the salad adornment.
Like the salad, as well, yeah.
Yeah, Kale Crouton.
Kale Crouton? Is he serious? That can't be his real name. What the heck is his dad? Heck's his dad called? Caesar salad?
Wait, yeah, I got it. Have you heard? His sister is a famous musician. Lord Crouton, yep. And both of these guys are just like, nope. They call me Tater Salad.
Yeah, really.
Lettuce rapper.
My club, enough. My club is open to those with class and respect. In return, I only have one strict rule. A rule that, if broken, results in death. No one No one makes fun of my name.
Check. Go ahead. You think we should fire back? You kidding? Oh, we can just skip town and change our identities? Conserve ammunition. The humans of origin. They're escaping. Bang. Brother!
Grateful little brat. Attention to every bounty hunter in the neon outpost. Who's up for catching a captain?
End of chapter 4.
Hey.
Yeah. Like, I remember I gave him more of a stereotypical baddie name previously, and I was just like, nah, there's just something not right. I was just like, I know what it is. I need to make him sound slimier.
Yeah, he needs to sound extra sleaze baggy and
Yeah.
like just taser face on steroids. All
Yeah.
the wrong steroids.
That's a lot of steroids.
Oh my gosh, and tentacles, and it's basically like if Mr. Waterdews from Monsters Inc. really leaned into the crime lord aspect and just like he just went all the way and didn't know he forgot what restraint was.
Yeah, no, I actually did get Mr. Waternews like vibes because of the spider style legs.
Oh
Almost.
yeah, well the face and the spider legs, absolutely, and then just
Yeah.
like just give him a couple words like squid tentacles.
Yeah, and like for some reason when I was voicing him, I couldn't figure out like why I didn't like my previous voice I gave him when I first read it, and then I realized, oh, I just need to make Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean sound absolutely unhinged.
Oh yeah, just absolutely, just like what if he just became a sleazy crime lord and
Yeah.
it just went to town.
Pretty much.
Whatever happened to don't tick off the guy who owns most of the station? Desperate times, Jet. Is either that or be taken back to Aeon Prime. To Eon Prime.
I always pronounce that Aeon.
It's fine. I say it Eon Prime, but like yeah, it's one of those like weird sounding words where it's just like that can't be how it's spelled.
Yeah.
Like come on.
I still think my octopus voice is your favorite. That one. But yeah, like I like to chalk it up to it depends on like where you are, where you're from. Like in the galaxy, it's either Aeon or Eon, kind of like how it's pecan or pecan.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like one of those if you have like an accent, like what part of the kingdom you're on, like what accent you've got.
Yeah.
Crouton! I know it's bad, but if we leave now, we can slip by before... evening, gents.
Chapter 5. Some days you just can't get rid of a bounty hunter. Wonderful Batman
Wait!
reference.
I have to say it in the tone of voice and the impression that I think would do this the most justice. Chapter 5. Some days you just can't get rid of a bounty hunter.
Yep.
Robin.
Yep. Like wonderful classic Adam West Batman.
Oh my gosh.
You have and I know you have recordings of that voice.
Oh yeah, well, that and I must have listened to that like 80 billion times when I was a kid.
No, I totally get that. It's just Violet was remarking on the like this octopus voice I did. I think I started doing it because we were playing Magic the Gathering and she summoned an octopus creature and I just started giving it this like. I made it sound like the fucking the fish people from like World of Warcraft and Hearthstone.
Fish people.
Yeah. Marvo, my beloved. Yeah, the octopus that it has 1 power and death touch, I think.
Still think we can slip by?
Big Murloc energy. Yes, Murlocs. Thank you, Medley.
Totally. Just keep calm and we'll be out of here before they even...
Oh, get them! Pew pew pew. Ba ba da ba 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 ba. Pew.
You have to go back to the Thunderstar now. Give me some cover and I'll take care of it. Over there! Look! You can duck behind those crates.
You.
I suppose you've got a seismic detonator made of spare parts. No, but I built a recall device. I just need to boost the signal. A recall device? Yep. It's like a flare that can bring the ship to us. And not a moment too soon.
Oh,
Obligatory Dawn of the Dead / just like general zombie apocalypse shot.
slash Terminator.
Yeah, all of those things.
Yeah.
Those are coming.
Bang, bang.
Okay, Jet, now would be a really good time to call the ship.
I'm trying. I can't get a good connection.
You're surrounded by advanced spaceships and tech at every corner. You still can't get a good connection?
We're out in the middle of space.
Space isn't exactly a hotspot zone. Jet, you can't just promise an escape route and not deliver on it.
Sorry, the reception here is a literal black hole.
God.
Boop, boop, boop. You boop. You.
That's meant to be more of a whoom whoom,
Yeah.
like a train.
Yeah. That's just the first thing that came out of my mouth before I realized what was happening.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We might have a lock. Just give me a few more minutes.
No time. We're catching a train.
Amanda, wait.
Woo.
Amanda's big Mission Impossible stunt here.
Yep. Yeah.
Wham.
When it doesn't land quite right, but you still get it.
But you still get points for trying.
Yep. Also, I love the small detail of just the muscle flexing right here.
Yeah.
Like it
where
just
it's like
adds enough.
Yeah, you show that she's like really struggling to like climb up, just like, "Ugh."
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is taking a lot of strength for her.
Yeah.
Poor
Oh,
Jet.
poor Jet. He doesn't deserve this.
Has to endure so much.
Yeah. And onto the train they are.
Oh, you make those jumps look so easy. 30% adrenaline, 70% unfiltered panic. Whoomp. You've gotta be.
Bumpa. We're the only one who's willing to risk a jump.
Okay, it's fine. Just use the recall device and we're out.
We can't.
What do you mean we can't? The device is only active when its signal is uninterrupted by conflicting wavelengths in the immediate. Jet, remember the talk we had about big words under tense situations?
The device can't work unless we're standing still.
What?
Sorry, it's still a prototype.
Can't just program a stronger signal?
Again, I'm still working out the flaws.
Whatever, let's just deal with these bozos and get out of.
Hello.
Hello.
Click. Phew.
Get something. Please work today. Got us.
Captain, they're getting closer. Yo. That's not a normal energy beam.
This is an advanced energy beam.
Yep. You. Action scenes. He's ready to throw a punch, but he has no idea what he's doing. Yeah. Shit. Yeah. So yeah, it comes here, then she tries punching. Yeah, what do you think would happen if you punched metal?
Yeah, that's the thing of like coming up against like robots and like bounty hunters on a regular basis. It's just like there are times when like hand-to-hand combat is fine, and then you're just kind of in the moment, and then you're just like, oh right, I'm fighting a giant robot with like steel-coated armor, and oops.
Yep. I'm just gonna throw a punch into a solid plate fucking armor piece.
It did wonders for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
You slice. Oof. Ah, Amanda. You. Ugh. Yeah. Just atomized or.
Like, bloated.
Yeah. It's not pleasant.
Oh.
Oh, that could have been me, is what that face says. Captain! He fires implosion beams, I know. We've gotta get off this train. Couldn't agree more, homie. It's just a matter of how we do that. Whoop. Click, 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 click. Listen carefully. When I tell you to jump, jump left onto one of the passing platforms. What about your arm? That gives you plenty of pain, Jet. Secret to dealing with it? Put it off till the mission's done. Yay! Might want to shield your eyes. Go! God, I love this shot. Just right here.
Yeah, not gonna lie, this was one of my favorite, just like slow-mo, just like still frame shots, like of the entire. Well, I mean, this whole chapter is like one of my favorites, just in general. But like moments like this are just like, oh man, I feel like I really nailed that.
Yeah,
and
for
it's one of
sure.
those shots that I had in my head for like the longest time. That it's like, ooh, like if I get to this point in the scene, like I really want to do a shot like this, and I did, and I feel like so gratified to have like been able to like to be in the position where it's like, oh, I can just like do that and execute that to like to this kind of degree. This is,
Yeah.
so fun to pull off.
Violet in the chat. That's my secret, Jet. I'm always in pain.
Yeah, really. Amanda in a nutshell. I'm
Yeah.
always in pain.
Whether it's physical or emotional.
Yeah. Oh boy, we'll get into that.
Yep. Tuck and roll, people. Bye-bye.
Later.
People. Oh. Jet, not saying that girl ain't the prettiest dang thing you ever saw, but we still need to get out of here. Right. Locking onto the local server. Jet, working on it. Jet, I've almost got a signal. Jet, boop, signal out. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Freeze. When you say the signal's out, the ship does still need to get to us. Great. Just that I'm so fucking tired.
Yeah, it's just like, it's something just work today. Like, I've had days where that is just me.
Yeah.
This is straight up me.
What's that sound? Nothing good. Okay, Jet, how's this gonna go? I programmed to a quick exit, mostly meant for tight spots. Not that you can't handle yourself, but we are in a bit of a pinch. Jet, focus. Point being, we'll attack fast, but the ship should have us covered. I can handle fast. You can almost hear the whistling of like a bomb drop. And the punmanship is much appreciated. Well, despite the trippy reception, I think I like this feature. What do as much good if we can't deliver on the escape? Let's keep her flying. Boom.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. And I love that you just, like, this is the sound the ship makes. Crack a
Yeah.
boom.
Well, because it's like, well, if you're gonna call your ship the Thunderstar, you want it to kind of live up to that, like, name when it takes off.
Yeah, totally get it. I totally get it. I always forget how much I miss this ship until everyone outside is trying to kill us. And you said you could handle fast. Didn't say you could handle breakneck takeoff. Jet, my delightful little twitchy boo. You may have built the Thunderstar with your own 2 hands, but I've still flown her more. Oh god, it's my arm! Oh, get the medkit, Captain! You deal with it until the mission's done.
Yep, and then it's absolute brutal misery.
Yep.
Oh man, that is... Even just reading it now, it's just like, this is just one of my favorite chapters, just period. I feel like this was the first time where I felt like I was really working off all cylinders and just going like, yeah, I'm just gonna have a fun, just like action scene, and like one that requires no context whatsoever. It's just like, even if you just subtract it by itself, it's just like, no, it's still just a really fun, like, and then there's like fun little details, like when they're on the train and they're fighting those like 3 bounty hunters there. 2 of them were actually so back a long time ago when I was like the very first iteration of Thunderstar, I was writing and drawing as kind of a cheap like little comic book that I was making back in like junior high school. And I did a few of those comics, and then after I was done with them, a friend of mine actually wanted to keep the stories going, so he started like writing and drawing it. And so the 2 of the bounty hunters there, the one firing the implosion beams, the black hole guy, and then the snake character, those were both his.
Oh, so little homages to a friend. Lovely.
Yeah, so like trying to like bring back some characters that I technically created first, but like he really like took them further and like tried to make them into his own unique characters. So it was like, yeah, trying to fit some of those like nice little bits here and there.
Chapter 6. The Blacksmith's Turn. Lord Zedek. There was a disturbance at the Neon Outpost. A royal captain and her lieutenant were pursued across the station. According to the locals, she was searching for you.
And where is she now?
Unknown, sir. But we do have surveillance footage from the scene.
Amusing. Billy's lover is out to rescue her precious sweetheart.
Shall we alert defenses? Send a search party?
No. First, we wait.
Wait!
If this child is a tenth as powerful as she thinks she is, then I will make arrangements. We wait until she has found the traveler. Then, bring her to me.
So, how was it you two wound up as guards? When you look every bit as capable of being soldiers as your friends outside. You at least have names. All right, how about... Drink! Whoa. Thank you, Horace. Speaking
I was biting my tongue the whole time.
I know.
Just like, oh man, you're gonna love this bit.
Everybody hydrate or dehydrate. Drink your water or your water substitute.
Thank you. I've got a glass of lemonade right here.
Excellent. Oh, all right. How about I call you Horace, and you can be Rancid Breath.
Apologies to Horace in the chat.
Yeah. Thankfully, they're spelled differently. This is more of like the
Yes.
Horus from from Egyptian mythos.
Yes, yes.
How does that sound? Why does he get a real name and I'm stuck with Rancid Breath? Shut your mouth! If Master knows we've been speaking with the blacksmith, I'm just saying. Sounds a touch classist to list me as an inferior when we're clearly on equal ground. Because the whole time you were ripping my shirt off, which was quite rude of you, I must say. Oh. Looks like the Siri bot got a bot. Haha.
Oh my gosh.
Good bots in chat. Good bots in chat. We've also got ads coming in about 3 minutes. And dead. Woof. The whole time you were ripping my shirt off, which was quite rude of you, I must say. Redeem ads start. Ah. Oh, so the ads started for you already? Oh, waiting for it. Oh, okay. So the ad start redeem is for like to signal if I'm not paying attention that the ads have like started and you're in ads. That way I can stop whatever I'm doing.
Okay.
The whole time you were ripping off my shirt, which was quite rude of you, I must say, all I could think of was how horrible you smell. I mean, as long as you sworn to serve Zarek for all eternity, the least he could do is let you take a bath every now and then. You're going to wish you could still smell after we're done with you. Whoosh, whoop, clang. Whoop, slash. Huh. Wham! We should have seen this coming. Whoop. Quickly steer their clothes.
Yep.
Well, I certainly was
very fortunate that that one size does in fact fit all with these guys.
Yeah, very true, very true. Wait. Well, I certainly wasn't going to take your mask, Rancid Breath. You coward. Isn't he a bit short for an evil minion? Maybe.
Yeah,
And the Star Wars jokes continue.
Yep, just keep them coming. I just haven't heard that before.
Yep. Easy tie. How could this be? March, march, march. Cue the Imperial March theme.
Really. Dun, 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 dun.
Yep. Whoa. Into the cathedral. And here's where we start getting that the ship is quite literally modeled after the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you gotta head out. Yeah, no worries. Have a good game, Violet. Thanks for dropping in.
Yeah.
And although the original vessel took his own life, a true sin in our great court of the fell beast, his legacy shall be the key to our retribution. Drink! Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Violet. Hydrate or dihydrate, everyone. The sacrifice shall serve as justice. Stone tunnels shall carry the traitor's blood. And here we go. Ads starting.
I would just love it if, like, right in the middle of the sermon, like, he actually had to break for an admin read. An ad read.
And we would like to thank our sponsors.
Oh, come on, really? I was prepping for this all night.
That would be hilarious.
Oh, General Zarek said he was going to give us the premium membership.
Nope.
Like, equal treatment in a, like, evil space cult doesn't exist.
No. Like, why would you even assume? Come on. And then we retwat the socials while we wait. All right. There we are. Should probably like do a bit of stretching while we're doing this waiting. Bit of self-care.
Yeah. Yep, it's important. Actually doing the exact opposite. I'm having a couple slices of pizza right now.
Pizza. I might throw in one of the pizzas I have into the oven after stream, after I work out. Because I wanted to work out earlier, then I started playing Borderlands with a friend.
Oh man, yeah, the ultimate trade-off.
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay.
Whew. Yeah, this is really, really fun. Just going back through all of this. Because like I was telling you, it's like, I remember very little, so just re-experiencing this is really great.
Yeah, it's been great for me, like kind of getting to kind of experience this through somebody else's perspective as well. Somebody who's not quite as familiar with it, but no, I'm having a great time with this.
Hell yeah. And welcome back, everybody, from Ad Hell. As always, we appreciate it. They do support what we do here at the Archives. And of course, if you have that Amazon Prime, toss your Bezos bucks to me, or just subscribe normally if you want. But no pressure, only if you're able to.
Yes.
Now, where was I? Ah, yes. The sacrifice shall serve as justice. The stone tunnels shall carry the traitor's blood. Rejoice, followers of Zarek, for the blood of the chosen shall resurrect our great and all-knowing master. I saw all-knowing and I just had to channel the dude who has the first monologue at Elden Ring. It's Sir Gideon, the all-knowing.
Oh god.
You there! If you wish to participate in worship, you must wait until the next session. Ah, yes. Silly me. My mistake. When did you join our brotherhood? Speak! Funny story about that. I was on my way to the gathering next door with... General Zarek. Eh?
Oh, hey, look, a distraction.
Yeah, convenient distraction. Nice of Zarek to install short-range blasters in these things. A bit excessive, but still. What was that? What's going on? Haven't you heard? The blacksmith has escaped the dungeons. We must warn General Zarek. Zarek knows all. Why would he allow the blacksmith to escape so easily? Doesn't matter. He's disguised as a guard, and we must find him. His wings are discolored, and his eyes are still that of a human's. Ah! Easy it will be to capture him. Ugh. Good thing no one is likely to start following me. It's just like, oh, come on.
Even for a disguise, I can't believe I'm still hindered.
Yep. Word hasn't spread yet. Word hasn't spread yet.
Starting to get suspicious eyes. Oh crap!
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. At this rate, I'd just as well prance about with a flashing neon sign, proudly giving myself away. No, please, don't.
Hello?
What the heck? Look,
Thicc?
people. Oh no. Ooh. The fire of Dark Lord guides us all. The fire leads us to victory. The fire of Dark Lord shines bright for those who pledge themselves, and smites those who threaten their disciples. This is the code of Dark Lord. This is the code of Dark Lord. This is the code of Dark Lord. This is the code of Dark Lord.
Chat, do you think this is the code of Dark Lord? I can't really tell.
Nah.
They're being pretty subtle about it.
Nah, it's like, it's gotta be something else. You know, I got it. It's the code
Dude.
for a discount at Pizza Hut.
Oh my gosh. Time for another ad read.
Not sponsored by Pizza Hut, by the way. That's a joke. Don't get mad at me, Twitch.
Twitch, please.
And then they lie down, and terrible, terrible things happen. This stream is totally sponsored by Pizza Hut. No, it's not. Legally, I'm not allowed to say that.
Thunderstar 4, The Quest for Pizza.
And this like this right here just gives me the like Mechanicus vibes from Warhammer.
Ah,
Just
I never played that.
like it's basically like a techno cult within the 40k universe, and they just start like augmenting themselves to be more and more technology and less human.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely wanted to give this the vibe of like on the surface it's like, oh hey, like come join our group and then come lie down so that you'll be part of us. And then what's actually happening is that they're like siphoning them off and like turning them into these monsters over time and like rewriting their DNA and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, turning them into these.
And Medley says they go to another sleazy star station that is headed by a large slugman named Pizza the Hut.
Yeah, the ultimate spoiler of this is, yes, this all takes place in, this is all a really weird and overly dramatic prequel to Spaceballs.
Love it. And I'm sorry, but every time I see a word like this, I can only think of Skeletor.
Yeah.
Cause
You
you're
can't
here,
guess.
man.
Yes, but you can't guess where I've gotten all these new minions, He-Man.
I hit up my cousin Zarek.
My totally buff, awesome cousin named Zarek. Oh, are you impressed, chat? Please tell me you're impressed, chat.
And now here's where the proper Imperial theme just starts playing.
Yeah, really.
Like the famous part everybody knows.
Yeah, well, it's like Batman suiting up, it's the Imperial March, it's all these things.
Yep. By the stars. Shoo. Nope. Bang. It's the blacksmith. Seize him. Great. Bum, 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 bum. Running. Running. Well. Looks as though the prisoner is trying to be caught. And of course it's out of ammo. Whoop. Any chance you boys are willing to trade weapons? Clang. Whoop. What the? Crack. Slash.
Everyone's not really used to fighting with his wings.
Yep. Seems dueling with wings is not your strong suit, young one.
There you go.
Yep. I suggest you find a new strategy before the master punishes you himself. Ah, he's unique. He's only got one eye. A capital idea. Clang. In fact, I dare say, whoop. That's the most intelligent thing any of you gents has offered me all day. Huh. We didn't see this coming. Clang, whop, clang, slash, crang. Clang. Oh, no, you don't. If I'm to understand, you and your friends were once human. You'll have the decency to honor a simple request after defeat. Fine. What do you want? Well, for a start, a decent shirt would be nice, as well as a binder for these confounded wings. End of chapter 6. Yeah. So, as a chapter that focused away from Amanda and Jet, who have become the main cast for all intents and purposes. Of course, Tyrone's included in that. How was it to like switch gears in your head to start writing for just Tyrone specifically?
It was interesting because it was like I mean, I always wanted to have a chapter where I focused on him, if nothing else, just so that I could have, because like it's like it's times like this where it's like you're following Amanda and you're following Jet and their adventures are really fun, but at a certain point it's like you almost want to like be reminded of that of the stakes at hand, and at a certain point you do start to go like, oh yeah, what did happen with Tyrone? Like, what's his deal? Like, what are we going on here? And then I also saw it as a really nice opportunity to like get into kind of like just exploring Zarek's ship, because it is just this big massive ship. It's like it's like the Death Star, where it's like you want to see where all the different rooms go. You want to see where everything, like you could just spend a whole like, you know, a couple hours just like roaming around this ship. And I wanted to get not just a sense of like what the interiors look like, but then the question that I wanted to answer was, yeah, just how does Zarek have like these just legions of winged soldiers? Where do they come from? What's their deal? And so by showing it, like literally having it so that Tyrone is like, he's getting to see how all the sausages are made, basically, which was always going to be like this weird, creepy kind of a thing. And then actually what's interesting about this was originally what I was intending was to have this be kind of a half and half sort of a chapter. So the chapter that we're about to read next is I was actually trying to write and draw that at the same time as this to kind of intercut between the two. And I think at the time I was trying to do a collaboration with another writer friend as like a, like, hey, you want to come work on my webcomic for like a chapter or so, which ended up kind of crashing and burning and didn't really pan out, unfortunately. But kind of after that kind of fell through. I looked at what I had, which wasn't much, and then I just kind of went, well, I kind of want to just like, what if I just spend a chapter with just focusing on just Tyrone like himself, because it's like we haven't really like gotten to see like him like stand up for his own, and I didn't want him to just be another like, you know, kind of damsel in distress, for lack of a better term. I really wanted to see that it's like, well, this guy's a killer swordsman, like he's not an idiot. Like we want to see him like go around and like actually fending for himself, and having a setup like this where it's like, oh yeah, he sneaks out and holds his own. It's like yeah, you want to see him like what he's actually capable of. So it was interesting from that standpoint, and then just breaking up the story so that you're getting to see a whole new side of the character in this world that you're not used to was pretty fun. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and you did a really good job establishing the scale of the ship as well, because not just with the science portions and the transformation areas that are turning people into these winged things, these demons, but also the fact that the ship has enough room to just have a cathedral.
Oh yeah, the whole thing is decked out with like, you know, worship rooms and you know, just like just corridor after corridor, and like, and if you'll even notice, it's like there's all these like panels or like these beams, these pillars that kind of stretch up, and it's in a way, and like I do end up exploring this in later chapters, we do actually see that it's almost kind of this weird twisted mirror of what King Thodius's chambers are like, with all the pillars and stuff that are very similar. They've got like little markings on them. Anything to just kind of make it so that like Zarek is kind of this dark reflection of what the king could have been had he gone down a slightly different route. So all these things to try and like kind of do a little bit of like basic world building.
Yeah.
And make it feel lived in.
No, I totally understand that. Chapter 7. They didn't used to be. Remarkably, the ship doesn't seem to have been bugged. All that time docked and no one thinks to put any probes on us? Just as well. You're,
Crouton knows we're heading into deep space.
Crouton knows we're heading into deep space. There's not much out by Oentia, but dead rocks. You're thinking it's a trap? I'm thinking it's a dead end. Still, it's the best lead we've got. It's good for something. What? Oh, trust me, dude. It looks a lot worse than it is. Just use the sporin spray, you're good. What was that thing anyway? An energy vampire. His name is Tynan Jar, a time shifter. His claws drain your life force like a boss. One little slash like that, like this is nothing. I got lucky. Lucky? For all that? Worst case, I'll have a nasty paper cut for a few hours. If it had hit me in the chest, different story. Girl back there was really cute, by the way. One back at the station. You really looked like your type, too. Hey, whoa, you okay? Was it something I said? I knew it! It was something Crouton said. Oh, wasn't it? That crabby old Krug. Like, when he called you a freaking peace offering. What? He's always a creep, but that monster! Captain? Jet, I'm really proud of you. Didn't set him off? I did. You're all good. It's not that. That girl reminded me of me. I don't feel like a boy, Captain. I never have. I hope that's okay. Trans rights!
Hey! Surprise, surprise! You came into this story for freaking space adventures and explosions, and what you got was big LGBT salad.
Yep.
Kind of Trojan horsed in there.
And just the utter shock.
Yes.
So do you feel more like, I'm still trying to figure that part out? Is that okay? Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're 15, you got all the time in the galaxy to... Is this why you're so anxious all the time? Captain, after everything we've been through, minor gender politics are the least of my worries. I mean, when you're busy fighting an intergalactic war, yeah.
Exactly. That kind of takes a bit of a backseat.
Mm-hmm. Pew. Blah 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 blah
He's
blah
a little
blah.
distracted by other things.
Mm-hmm. Captain? Yeah. Weird. Got it. I'll be running diagnostics. A teenager.
Yeah. before Jet introduced her to decent skincare.
Yep. Shoo, whack, clap. I could challenge that captain to a duel for fun. Hug. Such a string bean.
Mm-hmm. We're both such string beans.
Yeah. Actually, that does sound kind of funny. How's the shop treating you? As a novelty shop, it's fine. But when you're in a society that favors blasters, sword shop feels more like running a museum. Fun never stops, does it? It's not so bad. As long as I have someone to talk to. Shmooch. Pfft. You could do way better than her. She only got by the flight exam on luck. He's a goth freak. She's one to talk. The only way Summers got in was through her father's estate. Amanda? Hey, over here. You're okay, I don't care at all what they think of you. I know. Hey, look at me. I don't care what they think of you. I'm here, Amanda. They don't matter. You matter. Let's go up the hill. Anxiety's a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to be assigned my first engineer next week. They say this kid's the best mechanic in the inner circle. Can't wait to see what kind of ship he builds.
You want to get back out there?
Anywhere's better than here.
Oh, that's not true. You still got me. That has to be an improvement over the other place.
Ha! Totally.
Okay, it's a callback.
Yep. Sitting on that hill, looking at that sunset.
Mm.
Sorry I didn't say anything sooner. I just figured since you kept Ty's secrets that I could tell some of mine. If you need time to process, I get it.
It's not that. Jet, I know I'm one to talk, especially after what happened at the Neon Outpost. But be careful. The captains aren't the most diverse folks. They knew something was different. They could suspend you from the fleet entirely. I'm not saying you ought to be ashamed of who you are. I'm saying there are bad people out there, worse than those bounty hunters. You know that. I know you know that. We're going after one right now. But in regard to your identity, I just want you to be safe. My dad used to tell me stories about the royal captains when I was a kid. He said they were heroes, like knights that fought for a noble cause. He never told me they were so stuck in the past. They didn't used to be.
We've got a title. She said the thing.
She said the thing. Chat. She said the thing.
What happened to them? Zarek got them scared.
Title drop. Yes, indeed.
That was the last bit was meant to be my big kind of like Bambi sort of like man was in the forest like there.
Yeah, like just a weighty sentence that implies more history, which I notice you like doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, just anything to kind of give some sort of weight to like some of the questions that these characters ask is always just one of my favorite. That it's just like, okay, you don't really need the answers, but anything to give this galaxy like a history. I just revel in that stuff. I always love just having it so that it's like, okay, you don't like not everything needs to be totally explained, but definitely like some things like what Zarek did to the other captains, it's like, you know, you you want to know what happens, and you want to
Mhm.
know how it's relevant to like, well, what does all this have to do with Tyrone? He's just a blacksmith. He's nobody, and like discovering more and more that it's like, no, there's actually a little more going on under the surface.
Yeah, like
I love that stuff.
yeah, it's like the I forget the proper term, but it's like when you're reading a book and you're wondering like when the hell something came into focus, and you're just like, there's a world outside of the protagonist.
Yeah.
Stuff does happen in the background. You may not see it all.
Exactly. Which, yeah, I mean, it also kind of goes back to the whole like philosophy of like the J.J. Abrams like mystery box, where it's like one question kind of leads you to another, and it like keeps you engaged the whole time, and you're just like, oh man, like what's the deal with like that guy, or like this character in the background, or like here with like, oh, Zarek got them scared. It's like, what did he do? Like there's all these vague notions of like the return of the Fell Beast and everything, and you're just like, oh man, like you could get to like, at least what I try to emulate with this is like, now like there's some bad stuff that went down. There was some bad juju that that Amanda and Jet have just kind of heard about in passing, that they're like, even they're trying to grapple with, and that it's just like, okay, like, well, we're gonna try and like stick together like during all this craziness, but it is relevant to what they're going through now.
For sure. God. And this right here, when we've seen her always so vibrant and she's so closed off.
Yeah, that she's just like, she doesn't like, she wants to be the big sister to this kid that like, she's not like, she doesn't have like siblings of her own at this point in the story. We don't know what happened to her parents, really, at least not yet. So it's like, she really wants to protect this kid, and she knows like there's bad people out there, just as well as there are good people.
Yeah, it's a big wide universe out there.
Yep. It was also a cool. It was also a nice excuse to kind of draw some cool like space exploration vistas.
Yeah.
Some 2001 shots.
Yeah, it's always good when you get just like the panoramas and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we get here, her being the unabashedly thick woman that she is.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not exactly a Barbie doll, and that's okay.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with the body that you have. If you want to improve it, that's okay.
Well, and here it's mostly just to be like, okay, like, we know we went through some dark stuff, but really, let's like, we still know what we are. And we're still a fun space comic, so let's jam out to some totally not Phil Collins music. Sort of better to the sky.
Hell yeah. We do love Phil Collins when it's not overly pretentious.
Exactly.
Ba da da da. I wonder who this could be. Interesting. It has been a long time since we have had visitors. End of chapter 7.
Oh my gosh, Chad, who is she?
Who is she? Who is she? Yeah. I think we can pretty much finish up the comic in the next time, maybe next week or whenever we can get to the next episode when we can meet together. But this is a good ending point, I personally feel.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
This is a nice little like, oh, who is she, chat?
Yeah, for sure.
Either you can read along yourself at the link given, or if you like these little streams, maybe check out our little chat next time.
Yeah, of course, of course. We still got a little time before I usually end, so I think I would just like to maybe poke your brain a bit, as
All
it
right,
were. I'm late,
let's
but
do
hi.
this.
Hi, Luna. Welcome on in. Welcome on in.
Hello.
There we go. There we are. So, yeah, in regards to the to Jet's big reveal,
Yes.
what went into that? Was that something like you personally channeled into it, or did you always kind of know that the character was going to be trans despite everything?
Yeah, Jet's an interesting case. And they were actually one of the last characters for me to really figure out what their / her, I guess, deal was. Because in the very beginning, it was well, I say the very beginning, I mean before I even really wrote the story, it was I always had this notion of okay, there's this captain and their lieutenant and their sidekick, their eager young space cadet. And I put all this attention into who the captain was, yeah, fun fact, the captain was originally a male character, and then somewhere along the line I thought it would be fun to kind of gender swap a little bit during the writing process. So I put all this attention into Amanda, the captain, but I could never really figure out what Jet's deal was, other than because I didn't want to because there was an easy way to write that character, which is just the eager young space cadet, the Robin to her Batman, and I didn't want to do that. There are elements of that, obviously that's their role in the story, but especially in trying to make it keep it somewhat real, and because it's obviously it's a space fantasy, it's it's explosions, it's sword fights, it's all that fun stuff, but you always want to keep those characters real. And it's that kind of thing where it's you're never allowed to be really controversial in something like Star Wars, which is a very established property.
Yeah.
Even though they still find ways to be controversial, that's a whole other can of worms. But
yeah.
At least with here, it's I could you could explore gender identity, because that's something that we don't really think about in terms of this kind of space setting, but it's just something where it's well, they're flying around the galaxy with all these alien creatures and stuff. Something like gender identity is probably going to come up, and especially in dealing with kind of on a higher thematic level of going well, the king is all about he's kind of more conservative and trying to keep things in the old traditional ways, and Eric is very much in this kind of absolutist sort of destroy everything, and really trying to lean into the aspect that Amanda and Jet and Tyrone are kind of the voice of the future, basically. And kind of progressive ideals, and sort of looking at it as everybody's kind of hiding their own baggage, and Jet especially is oh yeah, we learned that eventually that is something they've been grappling with for a long time. And as far as keeping it real and keeping it relatable, it's it is something that's personal to me, and I wanted to explore that in a venue like this, where it's where it's not just a sit on a soapbox and let's just talk about gender identity for 2 hours. It's no, it's in any avenue that's kind of a turnoff, versus something like this where it's and there's a reason why I introduced it 7 chapters in, so that you're invested in the characters, you're invested in the world, and then then by the way, one of your favorite characters just happened to be trans this whole time. So you kind of Trojan horse this thing, so that by the time that you're invested in it, it's and then this happens, so that hopefully it doesn't feel like you're trying to teach an agenda or something. That it's just no, this is a part of that world, and it's part of that character that you get to learn gradually. So that was kind of the thought process that I had towards
yeah
it.
Yeah, and That definitely it makes a lot of sense, because yeah, you don't want to have it come off as preachy, but at the same time, hell yeah, that also makes their transness not a focus of their character. Exactly. I was gonna say something similar, because unless you actually want to seek out the not the soapbox stuff, but like the more in-depth education on transgenderism, non-binary stuff like that. You don't really want to call out too deeply when it's like Jet said, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that important here, and I have bigger things to deal with.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too because I was talking with somebody in my writers group who she's quite a few years younger than me, but she read the whole comic for the first time, and she got to this chapter, and at first she was actually kind of taken aback by it because she was telling me that it's like, wow, like Jet comes off like very like kind of like he like they just kind of like get right into it, like, or it just kind of they just kind of spring it onto Amanda, which at first was a little jarring to her, but then like when Jet explains that it's like, look, I know you were like keeping secrets and everything, I just thought it'd be like cool to enter in some of mine, that it's like, right, because Jet is like 15, they've barely begun to scratch the surface of what all of this means.
They're barely a person.
Right, so it's just that thing where it's like, right, they're a teenager, of course they're gonna have reactions like that because it's just like they're just gonna say what they're feeling, and I, you know, it was maybe something that I wasn't like fully conscious of as I was writing it, but it was one that just felt like, no, this feels right, and especially like with this chapter kind of relating it to when Amanda was starting out starting out as a captain, then recently promoted captain for advanced, that she knows what it's like to be othered. She knows what it's like to be like kind of condescended on by her peers, and or the like. She knows how skilled Jet is as like this really skilled engineer. She does not want them to suffer, like, you know, she doesn't want them to like go through the same thing that she did. Without her explaining that, it's like we see the kinds of like the kind of stuff she went through, especially like, again, we learned later the kind of like torment she went through kind of growing up, but yeah, she's basically just trying to look out for a kid, her little kid brother, for lack of a better word, or little kid sibling in this case.
Their sibling unit.
Yes, trying to keep this little unit together and save the other crucial third part of the unit.
Speaking of the other part of the unit, Tyrone. What was the idea to include like a character that's just like, oh no, I am a master swordsman in a world of blasters and like space magic and something like that?
So it's funny there because this was actually something that when I was coming up with the characters, like initially, and like going through the first couple of chapters, this was actually something that Medley was able to help me out with a little bit, and just kind of like, again, trying to figure out some of the world building and being like, you know, like, oh, this would be a society that by this point would have moved on to like blasters. Like blasters are now like the common, you know, common weapon of choice in these parts. You know, it's like the ultimate way of going, like, oh, bringing a knife to a gunfight, you know, and having everybody come with blasters. Suddenly it's like everybody's like, oh yeah, these are really useful in combat. And then as a result of that, maybe like swords became kind of old-fashioned and like, oh well, that was like medieval times. Now we're living in the future, and of course it being like the king's kingdom, like King Thodius's world. It's like it's never going to be totally progressive, but like in this one case, this turned out to be the one thing that actually like he agreed on, and was like, okay, no, we're embracing this. But of course it's like, well, yeah, okay, it's, you know, it's more efficient, but also there's kind of an art to this, and like, especially with Tyrone, like, I just wanted to give him a sense of like, okay, like, again, kind of falling in line with what Amanda's deal is, where it's just kind of like hiding all this stuff in plain sight and like being this like secret badass that like that can actually do these amazing things that nobody's really paying attention to. But here it's like, oh yeah, no, even though everybody sees him as this novelty like blacksmith, it's like, no, he's actually been practicing this his whole life, and he's really, really good at that. And also as a writer, you always try to make like your main character like one of your mains kind of like the best at what they do, even if they seem like a loser on the surface. It's like you always want to have like the one thing that they're really good at, and that was kind of my way of like making him, keeping Tyrone an interesting character, so that again they're not just like a damsel in distress like archetype.
Like clearly he knew what he was doing when he kept trying to talk to the guards. Like he knew he was trying to like manipulate them into like starting an argument and becoming combative.
Well, and that was also something where it's like the whole time I was writing his character, I always had like this. I always, in the back of my mind, I always had Wesley from Princess Bride, kind of like as kind of like, okay, here's my internal dialogue for this character, and that it's like, and then that actually became really fun for like, okay, if this was Wesley, like how would I write him in this situation? And that was like, that was how I would write Tyrone.
That's amazing.
All right. Tasteless and among one of the deadlier poisons.
I'm largely immune.
Yes.
And changing direction a little bit, Zarek. You've written a very imposing and clearly very powerful villain here. Without spoilers, of course, what went into you kind of trying to find that right balance of imposing and to be feared without going into the like, oh, that's just stupid and OP? Like, what went into the balancing process of that?
Oh gosh, it's always a struggle because you want to keep your main villain like intimidating and imposing without just making them like oh gosh, like I don't know, like Thanos or somebody, where it's just like, okay, like I mean he's cool and he has this amazing like backstory and everything, but it's just like at a certain point you want to see somebody like really beat the snot out of him, like at a certain point, Popeye and his spinach, you know. But like with Zarek, especially like with somebody like him, it's like you really want to get the sense that it's like you can't just beat him with like conventional weapons, and that is something that it's like, yeah, they say right away that it's like, you can't just like shoot a gun at him and like take him down. It's like, no, he's had years of like mystical training, and literally you can see him like just like incinerating people just because like he doesn't like how you talk back to him or something. And really just kind of sorry, what was the question again?
Balance, like what was the process of like balancing him and making him still feel imposing without making him, like you said, feel like Thanos of like being
I think a lot of that was just kind of like, even I always try to have this rule when I'm when I'm telling a story where it's like, you can have the situation be however bleak it can be. It can be like you can do all these like things to make it like somber and everything, but at a certain point you need to lighten it up somehow. It can't just be like a total depressing slog the whole time. And in the case of somebody like Zarek, it's like I wanted somebody that was like, You know, it's funny when you were reading it, like you were giving it this very like monstrous, like deep down kind of a voice.
Mhm.
I always kind of heard Ron Perlman, especially like him as Slade in Teen Titans as this kind of
Oh,
cool,
yeah.
sort of steely, sort of like, and which is not to like criticize what you were doing. It's like you were
Mhm.
obviously offering your own interpretation, and that's
Yeah.
totally fine. Like, please keep using his voice. But like the way that I kind of interpreted that character was like he's this very cool, steely, like he always likes to think he's like 3 steps ahead of everybody, even though really more of an ego trip more than
Mhm.
anything. Like it's more just like he just wants to prove that he's right, even when he's not.
Mhm.
And having that kind of macabre sense of humor about like, oh, if you get in my way, I'm blasting you with my magic fire powers.
Yeah, yeah.
And just being like, and just keeping him just a little fun, not like
Mhm.
a mustache twirler by any means, but it's just like there's just a little part of him that it's like Darth Vader like choking people in Empire and like like having the officer go like I'm going to apologize to Darth Vader, and then the next scene it's like him choking to death and him going like apology accepted, Captain Nita. It's like it's like that kind of thing where it's just like a part of him kind of relishes in being this deliciously evil bad guy
Mhm.
that you just want to smack.
Yeah, yeah, I totally
But
get
just
that.
giving him that little macabre sense of humor was kind of the big
Mhm.
key to kind of keeping him real, at least to me.
Yeah, and I totally get that. And as far as his voice goes, from my perspective, I tend to operate one on like the visuals that are given. Like
Yeah.
his word bubbles are a lot. They're a lot darker. They're a lot
Yeah.
just. They're effectively like otherworldly compared to how everyone else speaks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's akin to like how Darth Vader has the
Yeah.
like
Well,
that.
even compared to his minions who have like normal speech bubbles, but he's the only one whose voice like really transcends.
Yeah, it's like it's such a different contrast. And like, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of him having that, because I watched the hell out of Teen Titans, and that
Yeah.
that version of Slade is just like
He's like
it's
my
so
favorite
cool.
version of that character, just like
Mhm.
ever.
Yeah.
I wish that version would have stuck around in like other media. I
Mhm.
love that interpretation so much.
Yeah.
That he is just like, hey, what if Darth Vader was a ninja and
Yeah, what if
just
Darth
went to town?
Yeah, what if Darth Vader was a ninja, but at the same time, his voice makes it so he can literally be just an everyman.
Yeah, that it's just like, and that almost makes him even creepier. That he's like
Mhm.
the weird abusive father.
Yeah, like mhm.
That was like notorious for that show. I'm just
Yeah.
now reading in chat, Medley going, "Hello,
Yes.
I've been mentioned." Yes, you were a huge help, Medley. You were a huge help in helping me craft this comic in the beginning.
Mhm. But as long as we're still talking about how messed up and creepy Slade is, to the
Yes.
epitome of that, at least in my opinion, like I'm not knocking any of the rest of the series, but the epitome of that creepiness was when he told Raven, "By the way, happy birthday."
Oh God, happy birthday! It's like, oh God,
Yeah.
what a
Yeah.
what a sleaze bag.
Mhm. It was
Um,
really messed up.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that I really tried to lean into for how I wrote Zarek, to keep him like really fun and entertaining without just being generic scary bad guy,
Yeah, even though he is terrifying.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, like as far as antagonists go, anyone who can, like, because nobody else in the story thus far has just been like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna deflect a blaster beam with my bare fucking hand.
Yeah, yeah, not in that universe, certainly. That it's
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, like right from the get-go, you could tell that this guy is not I mean, he's got kind of the Darth Vader aesthetic about him, but where Vader is a military general, this guy is a cult leader. And I'm really excited for you to get into like the next, like certainly the later chapters where we get to see more of like Derek kind of showing off his cult leader status in really fun ways.
Yeah, like
because I really do lean into that hard later on.
I'm so excited. But yeah. But in the meantime, I suppose that's a good place to wrap it up. We'll go ahead. Yeah, we'll go ahead and find someone to raid. This was a really fun time. Night Horus, was nice having you drop in. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Starspeed, where can everybody find you?
Let's see. So my webcomic proper is thunderstarcomic.art, which you can also subscribe to for free on Tapas as well as Webtoons. If any of you guys in chat are regularly using either, it's very easy to find. I'm just starting to set up an account with with Spider Forest. Trying to set up I just got accepted there, so if you guys are into Spider Forest, it's like I'm setting up a hub there. And then my general, like, I'm on Instagram a lot. You can also find me on Twitter at theryanlightart.com. That's my account name anyway. Let's see. I think what else? That's it. I think I've gone through most of the big ones for me.
Nice.
Also, if you just want to chat, obviously DM me on either Instagram, Twitter, or the like. I will definitely answer if I can.
Keep it cordial, y'all.
Yes, and I also started a job recently, so if I don't pick up right away, it's not that I don't like you; it's that I'm very swamped with work.
Life needs things to live. One of my favorite Critical Role quotes.
Yeah, I need to put dough on my table to feed myself.
Yeah,
literal dough, and then also money dough.
Yeah, so if you feel like it and you want to show some support, please consider subscribing also on Patreon, but don't use the mobile app on like iOS or anything like that, please. Just because I'm not sure if you've seen it, the iOS, like an Apple upcharge if you try and subscribe to stuff on mobile.
Ooh.
Yeah, on any kind of subscription. It's nuts.
Cringe, dude.
For real. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll be doing a chill stream here. More than likely, we'll be playing some more Elden Ring with our Twitch character known as This Bitch. Heck yeah. So we'll be doing some more of that. Then we'll see what the rest of the week holds for us. Thursday is going to be another chill reading stream where I'm picking up a kind of an older comic, not terribly so. It's called Looking for Group. Someone recommended it to me a while ago, and I've been kind of sitting on it. It's fairly long, so I think I can get a good few streams out of it. But yeah, so let's see if we can find someone we can raid into. Purple Fishbone just streaming, playing some Final Fantasy 14, so we can raid into her. So raid Purple Fishbones. There we are. And as always, thank you everybody so much for being here. If indeed you still are, tell the people you love that you love them. Give them a hug. I will see you all tomorrow. And just, if you need to, get up, stretch, grab some food, grab some drink, take your meds if you haven't taken your meds yet. You deserve to take care of yourself. Even if you believe you don't, you do, because I fucking said so. So take care of yourself, please. And yeah. And remember, our raid message is get appreciated, nerd, always and forever. I don't plan on changing it anytime soon. So just get appreciated, nerd, whatever emotes you want to spam, but don't spam too crazily, please.
Yes, please.
But all things considered, yeah, I look forward to the next time we can sit down and do this. No rush. It's gonna be just a 2-episode season, it looks like, but I do love the like shorter comics that you can just kind of binge through and get the full story. Those are always very, very nice. But yeah, thank you all so much. It really means the world that people enjoy me doing this, and it means the world that I can help get some attention to wonderful stories like Thunderstar. And until next time, y'all, bye!